Santa Ana is my love, my corazón, my heart. It's my springboard, and it's my roots, my foundation. My family came here from Pomona. My grandmother and my grandfather, they wanted to be part of the Golden City, Santa Ana. Art's always been in my blood. My dad was an orange picker, and my mother was an orange packer. My father, he could see that I had a little bit of creativity within me, so he'd come and sit down and he'd whittle pencils for me and have scratch pieces of paper, and he'd sit down with me and he would draw. And so he's the one that planted the seeds of creativity within me. I loved painting with my hands. I loved creating with these gifts that God gave me, and just wanted to feel, wanted to touch the paints, wanted to feel the charcoal, the pastels. So back at Santa Ana High School, I had this art teacher named Mr. Gillette. I loved him. I would even ditch class. This is where my badness was. I would ditch class and go to his class and just draw. Even though he wasn't supposed to let me, he would allow myself and a few others. We'd go in there and we'd draw and paint and do all these things. Pen and ink, you cannot mess up. And so I made a zapata, my own version. And he came by and he goes, well, how about do a crosshatch? I go, no, Mr. Gillette. And he ruined it. I'm like, okay, I'm done with that. So I ended up making La Soladera. That's where I started at 16 years old in Santa Ana High School. Well, unfortunately, Mr. Gillette, he ended up getting cancer and passing away, and my heart was broken. And I took my drawing board from his class and never to return. From there, I was encouraged to go to Orange Coast College. I was very passionate back then in 1978, 1979. I joined Mecha, and we were very proud of who we were. The thing that really encouraged me was the very first day that I went to school, and this Caucasian guy came up to me and he goes, excuse me, and I said, yes. He goes, where's the cafeteria? And I said, you know, I don't know yet. And he goes, well, don't you work here? And I'm like, no. I said, I'm going to school like you. And he goes, oh, he goes, I thought you were a worker. I said, no, I'm going to school like you, and have a good day. I had a lot of great teachers. I was in fine art at the time. So they really were an inspiration to me as well. I mean, they told me, you know, keep going no matter what. I started when I was 14 years old, drawing and painting murals for the city of Santa Ana. They wanted to fill jobs and keep kids out of the streets and so forth. My first professional job, I would say I was a muralist supervisor with the mural youth group in Santa Ana, and having all these youngsters under me painting and imagining, it was a beautiful thing. Everything kind of came together. Where there was graffiti ravaged areas, we wanted to beautify it with culturally enriched murals that people could connect with and they would appreciate. Mine was the infamous mural on El Salvador Park. Everybody used to go and they'd cruise around there and they'd stop and they would take pictures in front of my mural because it had 257 Chevys in there. It was just a really cool, fun park scene. Unfortunately, they sandblasted a lot of the murals, and they did not want that influence of Latinoism. There was a lot of things going on in the 70s, which I'm really appreciative to voice out, because to me, I have a lot of friends, a lot of Chicanos, a lot of Chicanas. Their voices are not heard. It's like the 70s were erased from Santa Ana. They'd see a group of Latino youths and right away we were gangbangers or gangsters. The police at the time were not very nice. And like I said, you know, you wore a certain dress, I guess you asked for it. Buena gente means good people. They wanted to get the youth together and educate them and unite them and let them know that we're more than that. So what we wanted to do is prove to ourselves and to the community that we could do positive and good things. There was a workshop that we had in UCI on how to conduct yourself with society, school, what was available, scholarships, just different types of things. We had meetings so that we could all participate and represent. Even the parents were getting involved. And then when the police would come and they would be circling our meetings, they'd be out there and they'd be keeping an eye. The parents. I had mentored these girls. They were called the Silveristics. Back in the 70s, we used to cruise with lowriders. They'd be bouncing their cars. Everybody was very proud to have their cars and to lowride. They took pictures of us, Lowrider magazine anniversary issue. So they did a spotlight on Santa Ana and the cruising and the people that were part of Santa Ana. I really didn't start showing a lot till probably later on in life in the 90s. I mean, I kept on painting. As far as showing, not so much. I just kept my treasures, my art to myself. The first thing I wanted to do art-wise after being caught up in a situation that I'll just say kept my art in a bottle for a little bit. I just wanted to explode and create. I always wanted to create a Latino or Chicana greeting card company. But at the same time, I was a single mom with 4 babies, 4 little ones. So the person that told me not to give up and was my backbone, of course, was my mother. She was the one that said, you know what, don't let nothing stop you from here on out. Keep going. Back to a lot of my paintings, it has a lot of woman empowerment. I Am Here to Stay is about woman empowerment from the young to the young at heart. I had made a poem to go along with this. It's I am here to stay, strong, internally beautiful, tender, my own woman, I am Latina. I believe that the art lies with the youth. I would tell them to be focused, make your legacy, and be positive. There's a lot of negativity going on, and people are gonna say things that are always gonna be negative. You know what? Okay? And keep going.